to law-abiding people. Right now, if I were to go down to American Shooter Supply and buy a new Glock, I would have to go through a background check.
Yes.
And I would do it. Every gun I've ever purchased, I've gone through the background check, and I've
Right.
successfully passed. So what is the difference if I were to go and buy a gun from a private party, no background check at all? It's the same transaction, right? I mean, what is the difference? Why shouldn't that be subject to a
Well,
background?
you're asking someone who's a private citizen to now incorporate a bureaucratic process in the sale, and not just the sale, but actually inheritance also. People would be barred from saying, hey, look, I have a special firearm and I want to pass it to my grandchild. And they wouldn't be able to do that unless they went through.
They go through the background check. You know?
Yes.
Isn't it more important to know who is buying these weapons? I mean, aren't you concerned about things like domestic violence and people who have mental health issues from acquiring firearms? Guaranteed, you know, they could. There's all sorts of illegal trade in the black market.
Exactly. So
not
that's what
going-
I think that we should be addressing.
But this would also cut down on it, though, wouldn't it?
Actually, most firearms are illegally obtained either by stealing it from people that have them legally or trafficking them inside. And that brings me to the borders and the issues that we have there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, talk about that. That's on my list
Oh,
too.
good, wonderful. So those things all tie in. See, we're trying to restrict law-abiding citizens and bringing obstacles. Criminals do not buy firearms from private citizens. They don't buy them, they steal them. So already someone who's a criminal, they're not going to go through a background check, even if we have everybody go through a
But
background
the
check.
FBI has said 1.3 million people since 1998 to the present
Uh-huh.
tried to buy a gun legally in a gun store were stopped by a background check. So background checks do work.
But we don't know exactly what that 1.3 million people were. We don't know if it was something that was actually bad in their background.
Well, the
or what.
felonies, they have broken it down. I can give you the stats: felonies, dishonorable discharges from the military, mental health adjudications, all the things where you would say, yeah, that person probably shouldn't have.
But here's the better question. How many of those, did 1.3 million of those go out and commit a crime? Because you're asking,
Well, no,
you're
they
saying
didn't
that.
get a gun. They didn't get the gun, so they had to. They couldn't.
That's because they didn't pass
Yeah.
the background check. I understand. But did those 1.3 million go out and acquire a gun the way that you're saying is a problem? And did they commit a crime?
Yeah.
That's where the issue
I thought you were
is.
going to ask how many of those 1.3 million people were prosecuted for attempting to buy a gun when they were prohibited from doing so, which is a whole other issue. And
Well, that's a whole other
that
issue,
doesn't-
isn't
that
it?
doesn't happen. You mentioned the border and